What's up, everybody?
Hey, hey.
What up?
How it do?
Whoa.
How's it going? There's a spike there.
Yeah. I'm going to try and speak over it like this.
Well, no, you could just...
No, I don't.
It's just because you went, how we do, like...
I didn't even do it. I didn't even do it that hard.
Well, we have video proof now. We'll watch it back. That's what happens when you got video proof. I mean, if anything, the trick is finding the sweet spot on the mic and then just talking.
I still got years to go through this.
No, because I mean...
Still got years.
Hey, man. I got a mic and I'm not making those same mistakes.
And he talks straight into his...
Yeah.
But your mic's really good, though. You have an Audio Technic. Which model?
I think the AT2035. So yeah.
Okay.
See, look at his headphones are matching his mic.
That's
You
right.
gotta come correct. You gotta come sharp, man. That's how it's done.
What's
That's
going on, man? How's it going over there? We're getting a lot of snow here today.
Yeah. Montreal's
You guys get wrecked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Montreal shut down, kind of. Like, just take public transit.
yeah. People are like, dude, the amount of cars on the streets.
That's a kid.
Say what? Say what?
No, I was gonna say, yeah. I feel like that's pretty much every time it snows in Montreal, everything gets shut down.
Yeah, but you know what?
Like, we still manage. We still just,
Yeah.
we're like, I'm going to go and walk through this because
Yeah.
I'm not that far from a metro.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Like, I'm not far from the subway kind of thing. But it's just
Right.
like, if you're driving, that's a fool's errand.
Yeah. Having a car in
That's so
Montreal.
true.
Having a car in Montreal this time of year is almost useless because I mean it's an advantage in the sense that like, oh, I got groceries, I don't need to walk through all this snow with my groceries, but it'll take you 45 minutes to get to the grocery store a block away.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not construction; it's something else.
True,
Oh.
yo.
Or it's just those cones for no reason.
Why you gotta rub it in our
Montreal-
faces?
Montreal.
Oh, do they still do that? I know they used to do that a lot when I was there. Just put cones and no one's working anywhere.
Montreal is almost like a website on GeoCities under construction. Just signs everywhere. A city under construction.
Oh my god,
Terrible.
that's great.
That's awesome. That's true though, man.
In I think 5 more years, we should be up and running, or maybe fixing more potholes after that. I don't know.
How's it
never
with the new? How the
the new
I
mayor.
guess with the new mayor. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know much about her. People are upset about the tax stuff that she's done.
Oh yeah, because she was running on a campaign of we're not going to raise them, and then she's like, I looked at the books, we got to raise them.
Yeah. That was
Like she didn't look at the books before.
yeah.
Well, no, you can't. Like, I mean, you're not in power. Like, I'm just going to give you my books when you're not in power.
But I mean, I feel
Well, she still has access to know what the numbers are. Then
the public numbers
I
at
mean, in
least.
order
Yeah, the public numbers.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which
I'm-
showed that. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm guessing that when she looked at
She's
the
a
books,
liar.
she saw how bad it was. It was one thing to see the public numbers and be like, this looks manageable. It's another thing to come along and be like, oh no, there's like, isn't there like some 3 million missing here and some other money missing?
It always looks bad
in
when you
Montreal.
finally get into it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's going to look, it doesn't look too bad. And when you're like, wait, let me look all the way in. Oh, you know? I think when we first got our first snowfall, it was okay. And then we had some ice rain, and that kind of threw off everything. So
because it put like a sheet of ice over the snow mounds, so you couldn't shovel it because it was frozen in place.
And so there was this bad idea where they're like, oh, well, they said this day after this is going to be way warmer than normal. So we're just waiting for the January thaw to happen on one day, and we should be good. And then that day finished, and everything was still frozen.
I think I remember hearing about this.
Yeah. So basically, one borough or one city in Montreal, Anjou, was like, no, we're not waiting for this imaginary January thaw to happen. We're going to clean up our stuff. And they have like spotless streets.
Oh, really?
And no one's, slipping and sliding, busting their hip, suing the city. And I think because they did that ahead of time, then the city okayed it. The city's like slapping them with the bill, like saying like, no, we're not paying for that. And it's like, look, we're trying to protect people. We're trying to make sure they don't go to the ER because they fell.
Yeah, because that's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. When I worked in the Emerge, that was a huge thing. Every time there's a major snowfall, you always had to deal with the fact that like tons of people would be coming into the emergency with broken hips, and they said it. They said that the snowfall that we've had right now is horrible for those with disabilities and the elderly because you can't get around.
Exactly.
So I mean. No, I think Anjou did it right. You got to be willing to spend a little extra money so you can protect your voters down the road. Because who votes? The elderly.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure those people can get to the voting booth. That's how you do it. Anjou, whoever's in charge there, is going to get reelected. Yeah. That's how you do. Whereas these other boneheads are just like, yeah, we're going to save money.
Somehow this turned political.
I know, sorry.
My bad.
It's
not
good.
intentional.
It wasn't meant to.
It wasn't meant to.
Have you guys been geeking out on anything recently? I've been just having a mess of it with comic books. I've just been like...
So, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Black Panther 1998 to 2003, the one that the movie's based on, Christopher Priest. I've been plowing through them comics, man. Like, it's
Christopher Priest. I haven't heard of those ones.
Yeah, so Christopher Priest is the guy that took over Black Panther in 98, and there's like an article about him recently that came out that discusses, because first of all, the movie that's coming out is loosely based on his run. And when I say loosely, I mean super loosely based. Like, he created the characters, but I think they've changed everything else after that.
Okay.
So he made Black Panther cool and then disappeared.
Yeah. Well, one of the things he did, first of all, he was a writer who'd been working in comic books for a long time. And what happened was he was kind of like put in this situation being the only black guy in the white room all the time. You know, we've been there.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand Priest when I read his stuff. I'm just like, I feel you. I connect with you, homie. But yeah, so they at some point, he ended up getting the job at Marvel. They asked him to write Black Panther, and he told them, I don't want to be the black guy writing the black character. And they're just like, okay. He's just like, I'm going to write Black Panther from the perspective of a white character.
Oh.
So when you read...
Like how a white writer would treat a white character, pretty much.
No. He legit writes the comic book from the perspective of Everett Ross in the comic book. It's not the perspective of T'Challa. T'Challa is actually a secondary character in his own comic book.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what it is Everett Ross works for the OPC, and refers to T'Challa as the client because he's in charge of, like, he's T'Challa's handler while he's in the States. So the stories you're reading are Everett Ross's stories as he's telling them to his partner and his boss and to other people. So like, it's not you're not seeing the action live, you're hearing the action from the perspective of someone. So it's like a secondhand story. And then the panels are his storytelling. Okay. And it's kind of funny too, because there's a lot of times where he says, or at least I think that's how it happened, I wasn't there. So there's times where he's telling stories about like Black Panther fighting Kraven, the hunter, and you're just like, oh, okay, cool. But like, you know, a building's on fire and someone's jumping out of a window and all this stuff, and then he'll tell the person that he's talking to, but I wasn't there. That's what I heard happen. So it's it's pretty funny because you get the idea that, like, I mean, that could be how it happened, or, you know, as anyone can imagine, if you lived in a world where superheroes were around, you're going to get really hyperbole of these stories. Like, they're not going to be like, yeah, so I saw Black Panther punch him and then kick him. You're going to get like, oh my God, and then the building was on fire.
Oh, so it's going to be like Batman punching Guy Gardner?
Yes.
So, like, you don't see it happen, but then the aftermath is, one punch!
Yeah, exactly.
He played him out of one punch!
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much how the story, the story's told in that manner. And
it's basically a whole comic book run, but kind of done in the same way as the Black Panther teaser trailer, first trailer.
Yes.
Where it's...
Everett talking and
he's talking to Claw.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, soon to be Claw.
This is exactly why I guess you said they're loosely basing it off of Chris Priest's run, right?
I mean, like the Dora Milaje in Chris Priest's run are 17-year-old girls that are Because the Dora Milaje, I don't know if you guys know what they are in the Black Panther universe.
They're his bodyguards? Bodyguards, concubine?
Yes. Okay. They're his bodyguards who are to be his betrothed. Like, he's supposed to pick, because they're all like he's supposed to pick one of these girls to be his wife.
Right.
So he's picking, like, it's all the best fighters.
Yeah, it's like a warrior bloodline.
From every tribe.
Yeah.
And they all become, like, Dora Milaje, and then he's supposed to pick one to be his wife. Mm-hmm. The thing is...
It's like the Red Guard with benefits.
Yeah. But, but that's it. So, and the other interesting part is, first of all, Everett Ross's character is super creepy because he is constantly talking about how hot these 17-year-old girls are.
Oh, no.
It's really gross.
Oh, no.
Like, he's always talking about it.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Interesting. Another show, something I've been catching up on is Star Trek Discovery. I got hooked, dude.
Oh, did you binge? Did you binge through?
I watched the whole thing. Now, there is one thing I have to say about it, though, and I wish the last episode didn't happen almost. I feel like it resolved it too much.
Wait, I feel like you might even be one episode further back. Are you talking about when one of the characters dies?
No, I'm talking. Okay, I guess can we spoil it at this point? It's like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
past,
you know what? Go ahead. I don't care. I'm for it. Sorry,
Jaws.
Did you watch it?
Spoiler alert! If you haven't watched
Jaws' face.
Huh?
Spoiler alert! If you haven't watched Star Trek Discovery, you have 5 seconds to switch it off or pause it. Fast forward if you want and come back.
Mute. Please mute.
3, 2, 1. The last episode where General Philippa Georgiou takes her captain seat back.
Yeah, that's stupid. I think they Yeah, that's the first time that I've watched a show and said, I think you guys jumped the shark.
No,
I think
that was the last episode, right?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, so I didn't like that I was just like,
I agree. I didn't like that. I didn't especially since 2 episodes ago they did some crazy awesome stuff. Was it 2 episodes?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 2 episodes ago they set like a tone.
They could have ended it an episode before, where it was still like violent and like things were still happening.
Right.
But for some reason they decided to like bring back this captain. So I guess you're not really watching Discovery, right, Jaws?
No, I'm not. Sorry to say.
I never really liked Star Trek actually myself.
Oh,
so
at all.
I'm actually surprised I really like this one, and the reason why is because it feels more. There's more action. It's not as much talking as the previous Star Trek were. You watch Star Trek, right?
Yeah. For me,
usually it's more like political and stuff. You know.
Yeah, like it's more talky. It's more heady. It's more to resolve conflicts with words mostly.
Exactly. It's usually more psychological than physical.
Yeah.
Right. So this one is a good mix of both. Definitely more action than the other. But the Emperor. So in one episode, they go to another universe.
Yeah.
Like an alternate universe, and in that alternate universe, the version of the captain who trained the main character,
right,
is evil, and she's an emperor. So all this crazy things happen with that storyline 2 episodes before the finale, and then in the finale, they decide to bring the emperor from the alternate universe into the real universe. It just didn't make any sense. I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
But if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. And I just wish it ended an episode before. That's all.
I'll agree with you. I think one of the issues is the fact that, and I do, when I say I think they jumped the shark, is I really think they got to a point where they're like, well, we wrapped up our story arc like a comic book. We wrapped up an arc, and instead of moving forward, instead of like doing the mid-season finale here, which I think is what they should have done, they decided to continue 2 episodes, because there's only like 13 episodes this season, or 10 episodes.
Is it 13?
I think it's 13 or 10.
Okay, it's short anyway.
Yeah, and whatever. Sorry, Kalil, we're talking about Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, snap! Good.
Yeah,
I walked in just the right time. I was just thinking about that actually.
Are you all up to date?
Oh, I'm so up to date right now.
Yeah. So Tobi was just explaining how he feels that the show jumped. Well, I said it jumped the shark, but him and I are saying this. Like, we're agreeing on the fact that they got to a point where they wrapped up the first arc. Where, I mean, they wrapped up like 2 arcs. They did the whole like introduction of the war and all that stuff,
and then they did Volk and Tyler Ash or Ash Tyler.
Exactly, and they wrap that up, and then they wrap up the alternate universe.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so now we're introduced to the Klingon War, and you're like, okay, the Klingon War is happening. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But then what they did that I found super weird is...
That was a great twist with Lorca, though.
Yes,
Oh my God.
super great twist.
Yeah,
then-
so before you continue, Doc.
Yeah.
So at this point where he's about to continue from, they've literally come back from the alternate universe. Everything is resolved, but then they come back 9 months after the point where they originally left.
Yeah.
So
And now you're like, oh, crap. That's where it should have ended.
Yes. I feel like they should have ended either the season or they should have gone to like a mid-season break there.
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of continuing on from there, like
Yeah, because these new episodes where they're in the war and you're going to... So, first of all, you bring Giorgio over.
yeah,
The only people that know that George is there are Saru, Michael Burnham, and the guy in the
guy in the transporter.
the transporter
room,
room,
like, yeah,
dude. So you're just like, okay, cool. Then obviously you're going to bring in the admirals, so they're going to find out. So no one else on the ship knows. Makes sense. In my head, I'm thinking, why do I feel like they're going to do something stupid here? That was my first thought.
Yeah,
I was just
it's
like
already weird. Right?
Yeah, it's
like,
a little weird. They're hiding her in a room.
No, but they're hiding the whole Mirrorverse, right? Like they're hiding that whole.
Yeah, they are.
the whole
They're
fact.
concealing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So they bring her back, then they give her the ship?
Yeah.
Well, they're calling her Captain because she's supposed to be Captain Georgiou, not
Yeah,
Emperor
exactly.
Georgiou. But I don't think they're giving her the ship. She's like a consultant, right? Like
Yeah,
she's kind
she's
of like
playing
what
She's
Burnham
just
was
the
like.
face. She's just the face
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
company, but there's still the puppet masters behind it. But
Yeah.
Oh, do
we
you
all
th-
know that, that's pretty much what I feel. But we all know that's gonna.
Sorry, Tobes. You're,
I already see where the line. I'm
Tobes,
cutting
can
off.
you repeat that? Yeah, we already know that.
We already know that the storyline is going to the point where I feel anyway like she's gonna try to take over this.
Of
universe
course.
now.
That's exactly
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Like
It's
who
so
can trust
obvious.
that chick? Like
it's so obvious.
exactly.
Like this is where you're gonna go with it. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
well, where can you take this character who was the emperor of an entire
Yeah.
universe?
Yeah, that's it.
And you think she'll be satisfied being the captain of one ship after all that?
She's
not a
definitely gonna
fucking
be- Come on.
chance.
And honestly,
swear,
if they
by the
don't
way.
go that way, then just.
We can swear by
Oh
the way.
shit!
Yeah, you can-
Nice, sweet.
And honestly, if you don't take the storyline or the plot line that way, then what are you doing? It just doesn't make any sense.
No,
But
I agree.
At this point, the reason it gripped me is because I was surprised at a lot of turns, and now you've gone back to just you've taken
Yeah.
that whole element of surprise away from me. I feel.
Totally.
I agree. We didn't even start the DTD. We're already talking about View the Right Thing. So let's hit the DTD. But that was a fun intro, and I definitely love talking Star Trek. So we'll probably.
Yes, my new tattoo is apropos.
You
I got this Terran Empire tattoo.
Oh damn! This dude got a Terran Empire tattoo on his leg.
Oh, are you serious?
Yo,
Let me
it's
see
dope.
that.
It's dope.
That's coming up way too much in
Take
my
a
life
pic,
right
take a
now.
pic.
I know, right? I know.
I'm gonna take a pic of it
Take a pic
right
of it,
now.
put it online.
Yeah, take a pic. For that.
But yeah, so we're gonna do the DTD.
That's hilarious.
JawzD, I'm gonna let you introduce this while I take this picture.
All right, so today's DTD is because it's February, so I'm keeping it real for Black History Month. It's the Battle of the Black Kid cartoons. So we got Seabear and Jamal versus Waynehead versus Proud Family.
Wait, I don't think I know what any of that is.
Well, you remember Proud Family, the "You and Me Below the Same Time" with Solange singing
Honestly,
the intro.
the past couple weeks of DTDs has been killing me, man. These are all like
Yeah, I feel like
these are all things I either barely watched or never watched.
we
Yeah,
might
I
have
know,
to
like,
take
you
a
said all
step
that, I
back
was
and
like, were those words in English?
So
you just said.
we'll have to take
Yo,
a
by
step
the way-
back in
by the way-
superheroes soon.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to my boy Nate listening. Nate
Oh, dope.
from Ottawa.
Hey,
I
hey.
went to high school with him actually, so
What's
it's
up,
kind of
Kalil?
nice to reconnect.
It's
What
so,
up, dude?
It's so weird seeing Toby's face.
I know for once we get to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
him.
yeah.
that's true.
Michelle said the same thing.
Yeah,
Last
Franklin. Michelle Franklin.
I-
Anytime we're gonna have a guest now, they're always gonna be like, "Whoa, we can see you."
No, well, we
never
spent
seen
so
your
much
face
time just
before.
listening to you. I think we all made our ideas of what you look
Well,
like.
I know them. I just
Yeah,
don't know
we've
you.
already That's an issue. You've never seen him.
Yeah, we've never actually.
yeah,
met,
exactly.
right?
So
You've
just
only heard my voice.
I'm just gonna give a quick rundown to each show.
Yeah.
Seabear and Jamal. Jamal is the black kid, and Seabear is his I guess quote unquote cool bear.
Yeah.
And Seabear is played by Tone Loc.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
this
nice.
this bear with this very low. Yeah, exactly. Doing the wild thing.
Wow, thing.
That's a good impression.
And Waynehead is Damon Wayne's show, and it's about him, I guess, kind of growing up with his friends, and he used to have like a brace on his foot. So I remember one episode of it's like
why did you make that into a show?
well, it was actually an actual good kids show, and he'll show up in the beginning and talk about morals and stuff like that.
Important note: Canadian.
What?
It was produced by Nelvana.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So basically, it's him growing up as a kid. He used to have his foot in a brace and stuff. I remember I was watching, I think, an episode of Oprah, or like, Where Are They Now? And they were his older brother Keenan brought out that foot. And they're like, oh my goodness, this thing was the source of so much anger and pain, and apparently like a lot of his comedy came from that, but then he managed to take that and turn it into more of a positive thing and have a show where the main character is disabled.
Yeah, a kid with a disability.
Wait a second. How long did the show run for?
Probably one season.
Only one season.
Probably one season.
Okay.
Tobi's face. Well, good enough to know.
Proud Family was Disney made.
Yeah.
And the intro was done by Solange and Beyonce. And it's about a family. I guess you would call it a nuclear family?
Yeah, pretty much.
And the grandma.
But a black nuclear family.
A black nuclear family, and I think...
Because grandma was in the house, and that's black folk thing. An Italian folk thing.
I think it's ethnic folk thing.
Yeah.
Most of the time your grandma's there.
But these are cartoons, right?
Yeah, these are cartoons. All of them are cartoons.
But I feel
kids,
like...
Specifically for kids.
Yeah, right. Visible minority and Italians. And Greeks. Actually, all minorities.
That's what I said.
What? White Anglo-Saxon Protestants are probably the only ones who don't have grandma.
And I remember the thing for me with this show.
We're supposed to know, Toby.
I remember in this show they do bring up. I think there's an episode she goes back in time, and the kids are talking to her about Chuck Berry and the Duck Walk, and like one of the first black artists to do rock and roll and stuff like that. There's another episode where I think she has a It's a Wonderful Life moment, and it turns out Al Roker is her guardian angel.
Yeah, I remember seeing him in an episode.
And he's cracking jokes and stuff, so this is the first time you're actually getting to see him and hear him
Doesn't
crack
he also
jokes.
come in as evil in one episode?
I can't remember, but probably.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, could I go first?
Go for it.
Actually, I wanted to do Skinny's first because he's not here.
Oh, Skinny. Yeah, go ahead.
So Skinny's not here, so he sent
Shout out
his
to Skinny.
Yeah, he sent his DTD. So his DTD is Drain, Seabear, and Jamal, which dope. You get Tone Loc. Team up with Waynehead, so you get. I'm not really sure why, but you get a kid who's New York streetwise, I guess.
Yeah.
Had a good group of friends, so that's fair. And then defeat the hell out of the Proud Ass Family. That show felt too bougie for me.
What?
That's
wow.
I think Skinny
Classic
speaks for me
on
this one.
I didn't deliver it with that Skinny swag, so I apologize. But I definitely I feel that always felt too bougie for me sentiment, which is funny. But yeah, there you go. So that's so Tobes, if you want to go, you could.
Yep.
I'm just gonna go with the things I remember barely. The one I remember the most is Seabear and Jamal, so I'm going to Drain.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second one I remember after that is Proud Family, so I'm going to team up with them.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to defeat the one I never heard anything about.
Yeah.
Waynehead is gone. I have no other way to eliminate these. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know them, so.
For me, it's Drain the Proud Family, just because I like the idea of a big family.
Yeah.
I'm going to team up with Seabear and Jamal, because I feel like Tone Loc can handle business as my sidekick. And Jamal's just going to be my buddy. Like, Jamal's the dude I just sit and talk to. Jamal's essentially just going to be adopted into the family.
Oh, okay.
And then Seabear is going to go out there and crack some heads.
I love the way Doc just fulfills his personal needs.
Yeah.
It's like, we would do, it's like theoretical. Doc's like, then they'd be my friends and have a family.
I have a
and
family.
And then he'd be in the family too. He'd be like my brother. I'm just defeating Waynehead because I have no fucking clue. I had to like Google them. There's like one season. The only good quality images of the show you can find online are all stock photos that are like you can't use because there's like it's written Shutterstock.
You want to know what that reminds me of?
Across the screen. Hit us.
What's that cat and mouse one he chose last time?
Oh yeah, Herman. That's what I'm saying. Him and every time,
Oh man,
JawzD, every time he does a DTD,
hit you with that knowledge, boy.
remember when he did the one with the Conan the Barbarian villain, and I was just like, dude, I don't know who that is. You're like, how do you not know? And I was just like, no, I really don't know who that is. And he made it seem like I was weird, and then I asked other friends, and they're just like, I fucking don't remember. James Earl Jones had a
none of us on this panel.
Yeah,
Because James Earl Jones
None
had
of us on
a
this panel who watch a lot of TV
exactly.
know what that is. It's just you, man.
yeah, man. But back in the day, boy, there was no internet, and you had to keep everything up here in your head. Everything you watched and rewatched.
You have to remember it.
What's your response then, Jaws?
I'd
like to hear what you choose.
I think I'm gonna team up with Seabear and Jamal because that just sounds like a good combo.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you got that deep tone Loke voice basically, and I think at the end of every episode they would do like a music video kind of thing, like a song.
That's
so
cool.
like just a wrap up and a moral of the story kind of thing. And oh man, Waynehead, Proud Family. I would drain.
I like that. It's a challenge for you.
I would drain the Proud Family. I would drain the Proud Family, and it sucks because one thing I'll give Dwayne
Every
Head.
time.
One thing I give Dwayne Head is that I remember when Damien did Handyman, was it on Living Color?
Yeah.
Handicap Man, and people were like, "Oh, that's offensive! How dare you do that?" And he said, "I used to get letters from people that were disabled, and they're like, oh, thanks for making a character that's like us and reminding people to not treat us any differently you would treat anybody else." And so I guess he kind of took that and went with it with this particular show for kids.
True.
And I feel bad for defeating this one, but
I didn't.
Because I think he had
Why do you always defeat the one?
Yeah, he always defeats the obscure one that we're always just like, we don't know who this is, and he always ends up defeating them anyways, and we're just like, then why'd you pick them?
Why not? Why not?
Honestly, you just gave a perfectly great reason why you should probably drain them.
I know.
Well, guess what?
I know.
Guess what? I'm not progressive.
They're awesome because
as a person,
I'm not progressive.
As a person that comes from a single parent household, I would like to have all my family in one household.
Him too.
That's fair. Because I would say Proud Family is probably a better version of Family Matters, maybe.
Yeah.
But then again, it might be even better because it doesn't have that Urkel character. It doesn't have that one character that really
the character who ruined the show.
Hey, Family Matters is a spin-off of Perfect Strangers.
Yes, that's true.
So we can't be mad at it.
The only thing I give to Family Matters is Jaleel White dunking on Justin Timberlake. That's all I give him. During a celebrity game.
Awesome, man.
You thought who?
I thought Jaleel White was awesome, man. I thought.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
He did a great
he
job
was.
Like,
it's just that he wasn't supposed to be the star.
No, but that's what's so cool about that. And like,
not if you were the Harriet.
I was watching the other day, and his character did all kind of crossovers too. He was on Full House,
Step by Step, Full House,
Step by Step, all kind of stuff. Like
he's the guy. He's the glue that holds everything. It's not even Disney doesn't even hold that universe together. It's Urkel. That's messed up.
This show ain't working out.
Started it.
Get Urkel.
And don't get me wrong.
Innovator, way ahead of his time.
Right.
I think he was great in the show. He did an amazing job. I don't know how that poor bastard stood like that for like 10 years.
I know.
He probably has horrible back problems.
No, he looks like he's fine.
He looks fine now, but I mean, like,
he worked out a lot, man.
Yeah, he must have.
And dunked on JT during a Vince Carter did hard.
But that's the thing I don't understand. It's just like, you do all this, you do these characters, you do this show, and then what? Because you're so typecast, he didn't get anything after.
He's been in so many things, but small roles. But he's just like
he was Sonic the Hedgehog for a bit.
Oh, was he the voice?
Yeah, he was the voice. The original cartoon on ABC. He was that.
Yay!
He's done other stuff.
I know. I mean, unfortunately, his show just got canceled. Me, Myself, and I with Bobby Moynihan.
Yeah.
Where he plays the best friend. He plays the 30-something-year-old version of the best friend.
I mean, he plays himself, doesn't he, in that or something?
No, he's playing the best friend.
Because there was a show he played himself in, like an ex-child star.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I liked Jaleel White. It's just that when you look back at the show, and I'm sure the show wouldn't have done what it did without Jaleel White.
Oh, no.
Without Steve Urkel, I get that.
Yeah,
Stefan Urkel, all that storyline. backstory.
No, but
Laura,
it's like
I get it.
You're watching it, the premise before, and you're like, "What's this even about?"
But
like,
that's
who
the
wants to
thing.
watch
The
this?
premise before was supposed to just be about, as he
black
said,
family,
a
like-
nuclear
yeah,
black family.
yeah.
Steve Urkel got thrown in and completely changed the dynamic of the show, and
Yeah.
it became the Steve Urkel and this family next
And
door.
the family he haunts.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel that happens a lot to some black TV shows, like where maybe the first 2 seasons are a little bit more serious than usual, and all of a sudden it just goes silly.
Yeah, I could see that.
If you look at Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
Yeah.
the first 2 seasons with Aunt Vivian, Dark Skin Aunt Vivian, it's a more serious, more lessons to be learned, and actual real
Black
stuff.
empowerment.
And then Nikki gets born.
Yeah,
and
then they go
it-
to college,
And then a bunch of overacting happens.
yeah. No, I see that.
Breaking the fourth wall a lot.
Still great stories, but
Yeah.
like I said, I don't like breaking that damn fourth wall. I hate when they do that shit. But yeah,
I actually kind of liked it on Fresh Prince though. The
breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
Yeah.
It's like Jazz caused this constant.
Jazz
dialogue
was
with
funny.
us.
Yeah.
And I liked, but like whenever Will did it, or like would do the fake faint, he would turn his head and go, "Oh!" Like I hated stuff like that. I was just like, I get it. I was already laughing. Like you don't need me to. It's Will. We get it. We were already laughing at the joke. You don't gotta. And like JawzD just said, a lot of overacting.
Actor though.
True. I mean, he turned that into an amazing career. He became such a good actor that his sperm produced those kids who themselves are characters. He passed on that interestingness through genetics.
Gross. Man. His album's pretty good.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it just did 100 million spins.
All I can think about is Will Smith semen.
That's why I said
Thanks.
gross.
I didn't mean for you to actually think about it. Anyway. So yeah, that's the DTD. If you guys are tuned in on the live stream, thank you for tuning in. We're going to be switching this over to the website only, franklinarmstrong.com/live. So if you guys want to continue listening, do so immediatamente, because we are ending the live stream. Thank you guys for tuning into that. But we're continuing right now here on Geektastic Sci-Fi, View the Right Thing. So we're each going to talk about something that we've been watching or checking out recently.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting off with 2 shows that I've been watching. I'm actually going to start off with Hard Sun first. So Hard Sun is a British series produced by the same team that did Luther.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Luther's coming back for its 5th season, so they're probably really busy. But Hard Sun's already done. All 6 episodes were available as of January. It's going to be coming to the States sometime soon. I was able to acquire copies of the British episodes before the Americans bastardize it for BBC America.
Right.
The essential idea of the show is the world is going to end in 5 years. And there's a hacker who found out. He commits suicide. He doesn't commit suicide. He finds out he has a key. He wants to tell the world.
Right.
His partner that he hacks with doesn't want to tell the world. That guy is also a money-hungry jackass who sees this as an opportunity to sell the information. And that leads down a road of investigation for these 2 cops who are part of this task force in DIX and DIY. I don't remember their names right now. I'll look it up in the meantime while I'm talking. But what happens is, in the show, once people start seeing the information, anyone who's seen the Hard Sun files becomes a target, and the government, essentially the British government, takes them out. So the first guy that originally found the information is dead. His buddy kills him. Right. But then the second guy who gets the information, once the MI5 is what we believe, I'm still not even sure it's MI5.
Okay.
Because I've only seen the first 2 episodes. But once that task force starts investigating the second guy, they all of a sudden get told to stop. Which, if you've watched any cop show ever, it means they're more interested now.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, well, why are we being asked to not investigate this guy?
Well, that always happens if you tell a child to stop doing that,
right,
and they're having fun, then they'll just keep doing it.
Exactly. And that's it. That's the main lesson of these shows. It's always just like, the more you tell me not to, the more I want to know. And that's what these guys do. So Detective Charlie Hicks and Detective Elaine Renko, played by Jim Sturges and Aginis Dane. Lord knows I mispronounced that poor woman's name. But yeah, so they are on the hunt for the information. They're trying to figure out what this guy is doing. They find the information. The guy was trying to sell the information to like a business broker.
That's some British as hell names.
I know, yeah. So the guy, like as the story goes on,
I think DIC and DI are police.
Yeah. Detective, constable.
Yeah.
I figured people who watch British shows already know that. But yeah, DI stands for detective, investigator, and detective CI stands for like something like you're like a higher level.
That helps us plebs. Thanks.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So yeah, man, the story gets a little crazy. In the first episode, they released the information, even though they really probably shouldn't have, because people are going to start panicking.
Yeah.
By releasing the information, they unfortunately cause a chain reaction because now the MI5 or whatever government organization disproves the hard sun stuff as they would, because the government's not going to let that get out. By disproving it, it creates this, all the conspiracy theorists starts to believe that, well, something's going on. And some of those conspiracy theorists, who are unfortunately often depicted as unstable people, start saying, well, the world's going to end in 5 years, and start committing crimes. Which in turn they as detectives have to investigate.
Right.
So in the second episode, they're investigating a man who's killed multiple people and kidnapped his own children.
Okay.
And they now have to try and find him. And they're trying to do it without getting everyone involved, because they're afraid that if that happens, if this guy knows for a fact that hard sun is real and he knows in 5 years he's going to die, he has no reason to give himself up.
Right.
It's just like, why? I'm going to die in 5 years in a prison cell? I might as well just kill myself and my kids and be done with it. Because the way the world's going to end is like really bad. Like it's like the sun's going to die out, hunger, all this stuff. Like it gets really crazy. So yeah, those are the first. That's the first two episodes are super intense,
nihilistic.
Yeah, very, very much so. Some really dark stuff. The Elaine Renko, the DI Elaine Renko, her son tries to kill her in the first episode. Like there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And icing on the cake,
hard open.
Yeah, man.
Son's trying to kill you.
Yo, dude, legit. You're right. That was the opening.
British son is hard.
British stuff doesn't play. Like,
they don't.
Like think about how everyone's like, oh, Harry Potter's a children's book, but it's like I'm pretty sure somewhere in there it's like
dark,
Harry Potter's parents save his life while he's a baby. Voldemort kills them both, and he's just there by himself, baby.
Yeah.
Like
It's British.
They murder him in front of them.
It's British.
Yeah.
Evil Lord tries to kill him. That's why he has that scar on his face. British.
You're someone trying to murder baby. That's normal. It's British.
Now go to sleep, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I'll read you the rest tomorrow.
Exactly.
But what happens next in The Hobbit, Daddy?
Go to Mordor.
So that's all. That's Hard Sun. I recommend people check it out. 6 episodes. The first season's done. I've only watched the first 2, but I'm definitely going to jump on for the rest of it.
I love coming here because
you find out new shows.
I got a bunch of stuff to go binge.
And then the second show is Altered Carbon, which is a new Netflix series that came out. I'm about 4 episodes into that one. Toby, you've also been watching this one, right?
Yeah. It's actually pretty damn good.
How many episodes are you in?
I think 7.
Oh, damn, you're ahead of me.
I'm on episode 7. Yeah, so I'm not going to spoil too much because I do want you to catch up.
Yeah, I really did want to try and binge as much as possible. It's just that because it's hour-long episodes, so it is. They are they're well done, but every episode feels like a movie.
Yeah.
Like which
it's
is
long.
Yeah. Every episode feels like a full. Like it's almost like you're watching a movie. Like the first episode, I was just like, wait, that was 55 minutes. Felt like I've been sitting here for 3 hours. Like it's dense. It's a dense story. Toby, do you want to give people a rundown of what the story's about?
Altered Carbon. It's pretty much a futuristic take on. Let's see here. So in this future, people can actually like take their consciousness. It's kind of like Black Mirror. You know that episode where they can take their consciousness and put it in another body?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is pretty much a show where it takes place in a world where that exists as a thing. Like anyone can do this.
Yeah. From the age of 1.
Yeah. So as soon as you're born, actually, they install this thing in the back of your neck called a stack.
Yeah.
Which collects your consciousness every day.
Yeah.
Pretty much up until the point you die. But you don't die. You actually, there's 2 forms of death. There's death, and then there's real death.
Yeah.
Real death is when they actually kill you and destroy your stack. And then death is like, okay, now you're dead. We have your consciousness. When your family can afford to buy you a sleeve, which is what they call a body, like just a body waiting to be taken over.
Yeah.
It's called a sleeve.
Yeah,
when your family can afford one, they're expensive. Pretty much they take that and put your consciousness in it. So this story pretty much starts with, we meet this guy called Takeshi Kovacs, and he's kind of like a freedom fighter in the past.
Yeah, 250 years ago.
We think it's 250 years ago.
Yeah.
But they were fighting the system that was about to implement this whole like cloning and stack because they're against that. They don't think it's good. They think like, what is their motto? Do you remember?
I don't remember their motto, but essentially it's just like you shouldn't play. No one should be playing God.
Exactly.
Is pretty much the gist of what most people who don't believe in the stacks was trying to say. Because like your soul should be your soul.
So here's the one thing I don't understand. Maybe you can clear up. But he's what's known as an envoy.
Yeah.
Now, what is an envoy exactly?
Envoys. Envoys were warriors who could be placed anywhere in the universe. Because there's multiple planets and stuff, could be placed anywhere on any planet, and they can adapt to their environment immediately. So an envoy would be like on Earth, and then you could send an envoy to, let's say, Ryza 3.
Mars.
Sure. And once they land on the planet, they adapt to the customs, the culture, they clue in on people's needs. I mean, in one of the episodes I watched recently, the girl says, make sure you make allies of the people, even if they're expendable. So they understand how to, like, utilize people, manipulate people. Yeah. And that's what an envoy is. And they're not clairvoyant, but they can kind of sense, they have a really astute sense of the other, I guess is how I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Empathetic.
So it's kind of like
empathetic, yes.
Kind of like Spidey sense a bit too.
Yeah. Makes for good fighters.
They can cast their consciousness to different worlds and planets and times and all these things, right?
Yeah.
It's a world where it's kind of like that cyberpunk looking world where all these things are possible.
I mean, everything's Blade Runner these days.
Are the envoys like human?
Yeah, they're full on human.
Okay.
Everyone's human. It's just that you can replace your body because you're in a stack and you just pop yourself into a new sleeve.
It's not that everything's Blade Runner these days. Everything's always been Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah?
So what kind of sleeve would y'all choose?
I mean, well, let's explain the show, and then we'll talk about that after. But yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
So far on because I'm 4 episodes in, so I'll do a little bit. I feel like the character, I was waiting for the character to get a sidekick, first of all, because that lone wolf aspect of his seemed dangerous as hell. Because from day one, getting into the streets, people have been hunting this dude. People shouldn't even know he's alive, and they were hunting him. That's the crazy part.
I feel like leaving right now to go watch it.
But
we didn't even tell you the plot yet.
I know, right?
I don't want to know.
That's not good.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the streets, and
he
legit hits the ground running, and it's like he walks out. Like, I mean, the first scene is he walks out. Shout outs to Quasi Thomas, who's from Montreal, who's in the first 5 minutes. He's living out in Vancouver. He's been doing shows, CW, and all this stuff, and he's in Altered Carbon, which is pretty dope. Nice. A whole bunch of Canadians actually in it too, so you can tell it's filmed out west. But yeah, so one of the first things once he gets out of the prison, he's supposed to be brought. Not the prison, sorry. Once he gets out of the facility where you are sleeved. So his stack is put into a new sleeve. He's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, we didn't explain actually. So 250 years ago, he got found by the other side, and they shot and killed him.
Yeah, pretty bad.
They saved the stack, but he goes into a prison.
Yeah.
All right, it just goes into a place where no one can ever touch it.
Yeah.
And we actually come back to present time. It's 250 years later, and his consciousness has been taken out of his old body and put into a new one.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is he's an Asian
Polish or
what's the Polish guy?
Yeah,
so his name is Takeshi Kovacs, but he's fully Asian in the first instance you meet him.
Yeah,
and then 250 years later, he's a white dude.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And it's Joel Kinnaman from RoboCop and
that dude.
Suicide Squad. He played
the Killing, Suicide Squad. Yeah.
That dude we pooped on.
Yeah, we did poop on him.
We crap on him super hard.
I gotta say though, he stepped it up.
He got ripped.
For this. Yo, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yo, he's next level toned. It's crazy. Every time they show him without a shirt on, even I'm just like, homie, that's impressive.
He's like, put some respect on my name.
Yo, you do. He's right. He did.
Brian wants to go wash his clothes on
all the haters. All the haters are going to come and watch the show and be like, we stand Proudly corrected, sir.
Oh. Hey, Wendell, hold this. Hold what? These hands, boy.
Yeah. So yeah, when you find him 250 years later, this is where Doc was gonna go up with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's back, and then when the first thing he does when he gets out is someone picks him up and tells him, "Oh, I got to take you to meet your boss." And like you think, like, you know, the trip from being picked up to your boss, people might ask you a few questions because it seems like you're getting a cab ride or a limo drive, and you're just like, sure. It turns out that the person who picked him up is a cop who's trying secretly to investigate him.
Right.
Like from the jump, this guy is being hassled. Wow. So like you get a sense of like how crazy it is that there's no sense of control in his world. He has been brought back from the dead, quote unquote. Right. He's being pushed into a situation he doesn't understand. He's already being investigated before he's even had the chance to find out what the hell his job is
and how he got out of the
exactly. He doesn't even know
who took him out. Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't know any of this stuff. He's already being questioned. Cool. So I mean, you get early on like this guy's gonna be in trouble. There's gonna be a lot of people asking a lot of questions, and it only gets crazier from there.
Anyways, you had me at sleeve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the plot. Yeah, we don't. You don't want to give too much away,
no,
but yeah. So far, everything I've been watching, I don't really have. The only complaint I would have is with the female cop. I feel she's too gung ho. It's
oh my
like
god.
This thing
yes.
happens.
Yes.
They just make them too eager to
yes.
solve something that isn't even a case yet. She's just like, I sense there's a problem with this guy. I just know it. And you're like, he just woke up. How do you know this?
Yeah.
You know, so the whole
he doesn't even know what he's doing.
Exactly. 100% agree. The character Kristen Ortega is the police officer. Yeah. Actress Martha Higareda is the actress. Super great actress. I mean, she's doing a great job. The only problem is the character is written as being so like out to get you, and no one knows what's going on yet. So seeing someone being so forceful with no information available actually just kind of gets annoying, because you're just like, yo, can you calm the down for 2 seconds? Like,
maybe they explain it.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, good.
Exactly. I don't want to get. That's why I want Doc to talk, because I don't want to give away anything. So hearing that, I know he hasn't really watched the rest of the thing yet.
No, that's it.
Okay.
4 episodes in, the last thing I found out is she knows the sleeve.
Oh, okay.
That's it. But
the
episode ends with you finding out that she recognizes the sleeve, but that's it. So, I mean, that's fine. I figured there was something.
But now you understand her motivation.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out more about her motivation, because literally the episode ends with her admitting, she's like, I'll tell you the whole story, and the episode stops. So episode 5 is, I guess, you find out more information.
Yeah.
Other things.
Yeah, so all that said.
B-plot, though. I want to do a quick B-plot. Vernon Elliott, the father, and his daughter, Lizzie. Super good B-plot. I like that it's used in the sense of... So Vernon essentially becomes Takashi Kovac's partner. And remember what I said. It's all about kind of creating and manipulating relationships. So he goes out of his way to manipulate... I feel bad saying manipulate, but I guess it is really what he's doing. Yeah, he is manipulating. He's manipulating Vernon Elliott to work with him, because Vernon Elliott is ex-military, knows his stuff. So he's just like, okay.
So, but he's an envoy himself, or
no? Only on. Oh, actually, that's the other thing. Kovac's the last envoy, as we know, as far as we know.
But that's what I'm saying. Kovacs is an envoy.
Yes. Yeah, Kovacs is an envoy, and he meets Vernon Elliott, and he needs to use him. The guy has military training and information. Cool. So, and the B plot is Vernon's family. His daughter is dead. Her stack, however, has her consciousness, but she was traumatized. So
it's fractured.
Yeah, within her stack, she's like a broken mind. Yeah, and that B plot is interesting because Vernon's motivation for everything he does is trying to save his daughter. Kovac's motivation, Kovac is using that to his advantage to turn Vernon into an ally. And
saying, I'll save your daughter if you work with me.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it makes for... I like that relationship they have. I would actually... If this turned into like a series where those two are partners, I would be down to watch that. Because it's really interesting. That and the hotel. Because the hotels in this world are artificial intelligence. Like the hotel itself is a building, but it has an artificial intelligence that is represented as a persona. and the guy playing.
So like you walk into the hotel and the bellman, for example, is a person in front of you, but it's not a real person. It's legit just the AI
of the hotel.
The AI is everything that's in the hotel.
Yeah, cool. And he kind of turns into like not a partner, but like a pseudo partner because he's like, I want to be cool with you guys. So
the hotel.
Yeah, the hotel is just
so like the AI. It has like its own personality.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. The hotel's like, can I be? At one point, he introduces himself as he's like, I'm his partner, and Kovac's like, no, I'm his acquaintance. He's like, no. He's just like, I'm the proprietary of this hotel. That's correct. Like he doesn't give him an. He's like, I'm not giving you an inch. You're not getting a mile. Like you're nothing. You're just an AI. It's pretty funny. But yeah, that's a show. That's Altered Carbon. Very interesting.
So watch it.
It's really good. It's really dope. I love the world it's set in, the way it's filmed, everything about it's definitely very Blade Runner-esque. But
yeah,
I'm down to watch that.
Well shot, great acting. Nice. I would rate this like right now.
You would rate it after watching 7 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. What did you rate it? It cut out for a second.
4 out of 5, but that could change if I watch the last episode.
Okay. Because how many episodes are there? 10?
Like Star Trek.
I think 10. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So that's Altered Carbon, Hard Sun. Skinny wanted us to talk about Black Lightning real quick. He sent us some notes.
But he's not here. So
I know.
No, I'm just
well, but have you watched Black Lightning?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, so we could talk about Black Lightning and I mean, it's good. I like it.
3 episodes so far, right?
4 episodes. 4, yeah. I'm a little concerned about what they're going to do with the characters.
Yeah.
Because it feels like, and Skinny said it. He's just like, why does he only ever play Black Lightning for like 10 minutes out of an hour?
Yeah, it's a little. I don't know if you.
No, go ahead. We've talked about it. But
I find.
You find it campy?
Yeah, I find it's campy a bit. Like,
it's funny because Tobi, we said at the beginning we didn't find the first episode campy. Do you feel it's getting campy now too?
It's getting. I'm not gonna put the campy title on it like everyone else. I'm just gonna say it's getting a little more melodramatic than I expected it to be.
Okay,
it's becoming a CW show.
JawzD just said it. JawzD just said it. Say it again, homie.
It's coming into the fold of the CW.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's right. It's becoming. It's starting to fall into its CW structure, which is what
pretty people with problems.
Yeah,
superhero soap opera.
Yeah,
superhero 90210.
Are you all caught up?
Yeah, I'm all caught up. You're cutting out again, but yeah, I'm all caught up.
Oh, okay. So the way the daughter and like her like finding out what her powers are, I feel like just that part's cheesy.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking about when I said it, because I was like, just like her whole like arc is weird right now. Like,
it is weird.
Yeah,
she's just super cool with her new powers like right away, and she's already like training. It's so weird. There's no development.
There's no part where she's like, oh my god, what am I? Like she's not freaking out.
No, dude, they skip over that
up right away as soon as she feels the power. Loves it.
Yeah, she's like, yes. Finally, I'm going to the junkyard to break everything.
Yeah.
Is this the daughter that like she could make her
Anissa.
body dense?
Yes. Okay. Anissa, the first one. Yeah. Because the other one's lightning, right?
I think so. The younger one.
The younger one's lightning.
And her body be dense as hell.
But yeah, the older one is thunder, and it makes sense that it's the density and the like. She's strong, so like when she stomps. Because in the last episode, she stomps, and it creates such a like sound that Black Lightning a couple blocks away thinks an explosion went off.
Right.
So so it makes sense that she's thunder.
Yeah, because the way I know her through is when they redid the Outlaws. What was it called? The Outsiders. Excuse me. The comic book run, The Outsiders, where Tim Drake is leading up that team and Arsenal's on it and stuff. And I think she finally graduates from college, and she's like, I'm going to be a superhero part of this team.
And they actually mentioned the Outsiders in Black Lightning. Right?
Yeah, because it's originally supposed to be Batman leads that team.
Yeah,
it's like Batman's team and stuff.
I'm a little Grace Choi, the girl that they introduce who talks about the Outsiders. I mentioned already, it's someone I went to school with, Chantal.
Yeah.
You know her, the actress?
Yeah, which is I think one of the things that is making it hard for me watching the show, because I know she's not a comic book geek. So when they introduce the character,
you're like,
yeah, when the character is introduced with a Outsiders comic in her back pocket and says, if you're looking about genetic mutations, the Outsiders is right where you should be. In my head, I'm just like, Chantal has never held a comic book in her life. bless.
That took you right out of it.
Yeah, that's the problem. It took me right out because I was just like, she doesn't.
Liar.
You're such a nerd.
I am. But
Yeah, totally.
I'll
Didn't really read that.
So she's supposed to be Katana or something?
no. Once again, I'll stack on top of that. She is playing Grace Choi, the character. Problem is, they changed the character completely. Grace Choi in the comic book in The Outsiders is half Amazonian, 7 foot tall, red-headed Asian woman.
Oh, that's who she's supposed to be.
That's who she's Grace Choi.
Oh no!
And in the
she's
show,
such a good character.
yeah, she's an amazing character. Chantal, however, is what 5'4".
Chantal on the other hand.
No, but I'm not saying that
It's
in a
tiny.
bad way. But she's a petite Asian woman who's supposed to be playing a 7 foot tall Amazonian Asian.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
really understand
with red hair and
With red
orange
hair.
scared.
Maybe they'll have CGI on that.
I'm hoping no, because that's
That's the last thing I want.
exactly because we're already
You want as little as possible.
because the show's already feeling
Want to see
campy.
a real 7 foot tall.
If you're gonna toss
Amazonian
in a CGI,
redhead Asian.
yeah. So
I'm with you.
What
I'm with you.
what that means to me though is,
Death
and
by Snoo Snoo.
I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna get
happens in
rid
the comic.
of. They're gonna get rid of the character.
Yeah,
like
probably.
Grace Choi is not going to be Grace Choi. She's just going to be this girl that is into
Like in
Anissa.
passing, and they didn't use
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's so many things about Grace
I
Choi
hate
that's
when they do that, when they ruin a good character.
because
Like,
at that point, don't name her Grace
yeah,
Choi.
she could just be anyone, right?
Make
Like,
her
yeah.
anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Because by making her Grace Choi, first of all, Grace Choi doesn't know her parents or doesn't know her parentage.
Right.
So when in the last episode where she's talking about like Anissa's just like, you ever feel like it's you things you can't tell your parents, and she's just like, well, I'm bisexual, so that was already something I couldn't really talk to my parents about. She doesn't say it in that detail, but
Right.
that's what you're supposed to get from that scene, and it's just like, oh, okay, but it's just like the
Maybe-
character doesn't have a family like that. in the-
Maybe she's saying that to seem normal, and she just says it as a throwaway line to not like be like,
Okay.
"Oh, what do you mean you don't know your parents?" It's like, I don't want to go through this.
That's
I
fair.
don't know. Judging from where we are right now, as opposed to how I felt when I first saw the first episode, I'm losing faith so quick.
I know.
Which the part that shocked me was, Mom and Dad, I'm sleeping with my boyfriend
Oh
this
my
weekend.
God.
Yeah.
Like, who does that though?
I
Like,
listened to Cress
what?
Williams in the podcast, and he talked about filming those scenes. One of the things they're trying to do is they're trying to make it that they're every family. And as much as we probably like, I never spoke to my mom and dad about how I wanted to
No,
hit
but
it
you
for the
tell
first
them
time.
after.
Yeah, but
You tell it's too late.
But
Or
that's-
you
They can't
you
do
don't
it.
have to tell them.
Yeah,
How
you,
about that
you
one?
don't have to, but if you do, it should be after.
but I think the point of this is
It's weird when you do it and they know.
yeah. Just like, by the way, this Saturday I'll be sleeping with my
right,
boyfriend
right.
for the first time.
But I'll be in before curfew.
Yeah.
Just thought you should know. Mull that over.
That is
Her
a little
dad's
weird.
like, oh.
But I think what they were trying to do is set up this thing of like, well, teens can have these conversations with their parents, and that's where the problem, like Toby was saying, it comes a little after school special campy.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. And then he goes, yells at
I
the
don't,
poor
I don't
kid.
need all that in my comic
Like-
books. I don't need all that with my
Yeah.
superheroes.
No, yeah, that's it. That's
I
it.
think the show,
We got Supergirl for that.
yeah,
we don't even really need to know their sexual orientation, really.
Shade. That was great.
We got the end of this show for that.
Yeah, at
We
the
got
end,
Jessica Jones for that.
yeah.
Oh, snap.
At the end, but legit, like, end every episode with just kind of like, in this episode, we want you to think about consent, and it's just like, cool. Thank you for that.
When you have sex, plan it from days ahead.
Talk to your parents.
Talk to your doctor.
Get their advice on positions.
Ask
Anyways,
your sister to help you with it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I was really hoping Anissa would have been here so she could have backed me up. Why would you want your sister and your parents there to talk about how you're planning to
I
bang
think it's
for the first time?
because she came out to them, so she
It's
she
so-
meant it in that sense, but
Still would have been
Still
weird.
weird,
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted one of my older siblings there
It's
if
a
I
new
was
age. I don't know.
CW.
Everyone's upfront about everything.
You know what though?
no,
Skinny,
but your younger siblings would have been worse. Though.
but Skinny made one point, and one point that I agree with. Skinny's point is the only reason he watches the show, and it's the only reason I watch the show. Krondon. Krondon is killing it as Tobias Whale. He is. He's doing such a good job.
Is
So
that the
he's
albino
also
dude?
nothing
Yeah.
but a henchman and a lackey, if it turns out, though.
He's
Yeah,
sorry
to Jill Scott.
to Lady Eve.
Is that
Yeah,
Jill Scott
he's-
actually?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But no. But I mean, whether or not he's a lackey,
Do you
he's still
like-
doing a good job.
Yeah, he is. I feel like they should have waited for that it just didn't make sense why you needed her in this so early.
I like how they did it though, because they explained it. That whole
Really?
scene. So in the last episode, that whole scene they have where she's like draining the blood from somebody's crotch. Weird scene, by the way. On like a table, she's like at a morgue, and she's just like sticking a tube into a person who's alive, and she's sticking the tube into what appears to be their crotch area, and the guy is like
a catheter.
Yeah. Oh. And she's just like pumping it as she's talking. You're like, you're sick. In any case, why I like that scene? You got a background.
Watch that right now.
You got a background on Krondon explaining the only reason people respected him is because he took out Black Lightning,
Right.
which was a really important establishing story to his character. And the fact that he didn't take out Black Lightning is now putting his position into question.
Yeah, his whole
And that's why I like that scene. Lady Eve is part of that collective of people who are higher up who manage business. And Tobias Whale, who was a politician who fell from grace, had to prove himself to the underground to come up as a villain, as a man on the street. And the way he did it was by taking out Black Lightning, which he never actually did. And that's why that scene seemed interesting to me. But that's it.
Okay.
That was the only good scene in that episode for me. Everything else was a toss away.
Yeah, everything else was definitely a toss away.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I fell asleep. I almost fell asleep twice.
Oh no.
That episode. That's a huge That's a huge gauge for me.
Yeah.
Just to go back to Kalil's point about having your younger sibling talking about, it's like, man, I don't want to know my younger sibling is like beating me in the race and then lapping me on top of that. Like if they were like talking to their parents about, oh hey, I'm gonna go sleep with my boyfriend, blah blah. It's like, wait, you're way young. How are you getting laid?
Oh, you're talking about in real life, not in the show. Because Anis has already been sleeping with
no,
people.
it'd be funny.
Yeah,
It'd be a really funny plot point.
What I meant is like you say it in front of your younger siblings, because I have younger siblings, but they're much younger. So like I was grown and they were still kids. And then I'd come home with stuff like that, and they'd be like, "Callie has a girlfriend. Callie has," you know what I mean? And like running around, like doing stuff like that. And you're just like, I could just imagine like that topic coming up in front of much younger siblings would be quite hilarious. Kind of thing.
I mean,
Mom, Dad, I'm gonna sleep with my boyfriend. She's gonna sleep with my boyfriend. Like,
and I mean, as a CW,
telling people at school and stuff.
As a CW show, it's almost gonna feel like it's gonna get to that point. Because that's where like the show's getting campy in that way.
I just feel bad for that poor kid that was supposed to sleep with her, because all he ever did was talk about sleeping with a girl his whole life, and then got shot in the spine.
Oh, the character,
the ability to walk.
That's true. Yeah. The only thing that character did,
I'd be like, I'd like Black Lightning would be my arch nemesis at that point. Like the principal that came to like cock block me. Like before I got shot in the spine would be the person I hated like the most.
That sounds
the rest of my life.
That
after
sounds like a verse of Alanis Morissette song "Ironic."
It's ironic.
But yeah, I mean, his story where he got shot and now Tobias Whale is trying to turn him into like one of the main anti-Black Lightning characters, who would, as a public figure, would help bring down Black Lightning in people's eyes.
Like Batman versus Superman, that dude that's
yes, the guy who's just like, Superman ruined my life. It's weird. It's weird writing. I'm not 100% sure where they're going with it or why they're doing it this way, but we'll see. I mean, that's what it is. Tobi, you wanted to talk about Cloverfield Paradox?
I don't want to talk about it too much because it just came out.
I saw it.
I'll give people a chance.
I'll say this: I think it sucked. That's all I have to say.
I honestly, I feel like yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. It doesn't totally suck, but there was nothing enticing in it for as an audience.
Yeah.
Because it actually all it does is tie up loose ends.
Yeah.
In the sense that so the first movie that we were introduced to, Cloverfield, is based on like we meet these. I guess they're not teens, but these people in their 20s partying. Yeah, and one of them is going away or something, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, monsters attack, and the whole movie is about monsters attacking these seemingly normal people.
Yeah.
Second movie comes out, and you find yourself at some point after the first Cloverfield movie, where this girl is trapped in a bunker with some old dude played by John Goodman for some reason, and so like you're starting to get so monsters attack. So now this whole Earth is destroyed, and everyone's doing their own thing and hiding from aliens, and there's all these things happening.
Yeah.
And then this movie now is sort of like the prequel to those two.
Is it a prequel?
I didn't even know they made a second one.
Yeah, they made a second one.
Yeah.
So this is a prequel.
Second one's actually really good, by the way.
This one's
cool.
weird because remember the name of it is
go.
Paradox.
So
I gotta go.
So
man. I
it's
got
a
too much to
sequel.
watch.
It's a sequel
sorry,
or
it's
a prequel?
in the
Prequel.
Sorry, it's a prequel in the sense that like I don't want to get. Okay, you know what? I'll just say I'll stay as vague as possible.
I was just gonna say it's in the name.
It explains how it happened in the first place.
Okay.
How the aliens and the beasts and the monsters ended up on Earth to begin with.
Oh,
If you actually think that's why I say it doesn't suck. It actually ties up. You're like, oh, so that's how.
See, I didn't know that. I thought Cloverfield Paradox. I thought when you see the monster in the movie for the first time, I was just like, oh, there's monsters. But so everything that happened. No, because I mean it's
Monsters.
Yeah, because I mean it's
okay,
Cloverfield.
So I see where they lost you by the way. Because at the beginning of this movie, they're on a Earth where like people are starving. They need to find solution for energy, right?
Yeah.
So you actually think it's still happening at the same time as the current. But it's not. It's actually before it happened. People are utilized. So the party that we saw was just, again, people living their own lives. But at the same time, there's a crisis of like low energy, and soon the Earth is going to run out of this and this.
I was going to say, how did they have a party in the first one when they establish in this movie that there's like no resources? Like, where are you partying? Like they couldn't even get. Remember when they went to the gas station and they're just like, that's the fourth power outage today. Like. Oh, okay.
But that's in the UK, by the way. So we don't know how bad it is in the States, right?
Oh,
the
yes,
first
that's
movie
true. That's true. This
one starts in the UK, right?
True. It does. It does take place in the UK.
So they actually shoot a bunch of scientists up in the rocket to kind of find a new source of energy.
Wait, something also. Do you feel they explain how this source of energy was going to work? Because I never.
No, they didn't feel the need to.
Okay.
So they never explained.
Remember how in the original Star Wars movie
that's as simple as it is.
They don't really explain the Force. Just the Force is all around us.
No, but
just
that's
take our
different.
word for it. Take our word for it.
The Force comes across as like almost like a mythical magic in Star Wars, so you're kind of okay with it. But this one, legit, the whole premise of the first part of the movie is they're trying to do something with something to make energy, but they never explain it. So the whole time I'm watching, I'm just like, I don't understand what they're doing here. Like, what are you're trying to make energy? How? Explain a little bit of the science to me. You're just all on a space station.
They probably don't have the science down packed to do that. And then also on top of it, as soon as you start putting technobabble in your stuff, you don't have enough confidence in your people watching it.
The main character that we meet in the trailer and in the movie, the girl. When we first meet her, we find out she's like the scientist or an astronaut, and they want her to go to space, but she's not sure if she wants to go at all because she has this guy that she's with apparently, and she doesn't want to leave him, but he's telling her go. Like, I may need you now, but none of this might be here in a few years. Whereas if you go now, you get more time, type thing, right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, she's already in the spaceship. Next scene.
Yeah.
So there's no like.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
They don't really they don't feel the need to show us how she gets there or even explain the science behind the technology, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want to give too much away for those who haven't seen it. I'm just gonna say this: it does. If you're actually interested in seeing how this whole world and universe of Cloverfield started, I would say to watch this for that sole fact that it actually, if you look at it the way I just explained, it ties up the loose ends and tells you how this all started. So the next movies now are all just gonna show you different things happening at different times. What I don't understand, though, and I'm a little confused about, so my theory might actually just be completely thrown out the window, or they might be saying this is something that's happened before. But the fourth movie is called Overlord, supposedly.
Yeah.
Going to take place in World War II.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, so that's the part.
They lost me at hello.
So that part.
You lost me at Clover.
You lost me at Clover.
That's exactly.
Don't go outside.
You lost me after the Super Bowl.
I'm not sure.
It's like, oh, you're done watching the Super
That's
Bowl?
why
Well, this movie's out. Yeah. Wait, Cloverfield? When was that coming out? Boom, it's on Netflix. Go watch it.
I gotta say, that was smart marketing.
Yeah, Paramount was having issues. Paramount didn't like this version of the movie at all, by the way.
Of course not. It's a horrible movie.
But Netflix was like, hey, we can get Jewish here's the
sorry, right? Tobes, you completely cut out.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Okay, so pretty much Netflix was like, hey, if you guys don't really like this, we like it for our network. We'll give you 50, the movie cost you 40, here's a bit of a profit. distribution, a bunch of things on the side, but Netflix made sense for them to carry this one. And the fourth one now will be out in theaters, and they'll probably put more money behind it.
That's weird.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that marketing for Netflix is super cheap.
Oh,
after the Super Bowl, immediately after the Super Bowl.
That was genius. That was genius.
That was mad. That's exactly why they did it.
But
people are gonna go watch Cloverfield.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing for me, and they have the license for the other two movies on Netflix, right? Because the first and the second one are on there. Yeah, so I mean, it's smart in the sense that you pay $50 million so that you get people online watching all three. Because I'm gonna rewatch them now to try and understand.
Yeah, exactly.
The only problem is it really isn't a good movie. Like, I don't think it's well done story. Even with you telling me that now,
no, it's not.
I still don't think it's a good movie, knowing that it's a prequel, quote unquote. I mean,
yeah, that's why I said it's not great. It doesn't totally suck in the sense that you actually do get some answers if you actually if you noticed it, and I did.
Yeah. So we'll see. Okay. JawzD, Metroid, Samus Returns, 3DS. Hit me.
Yeah. So this is a remake of Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, which came out. Early 90s, I think, if I remember right. So this is basically takes place after Metroid 1. Samus is tasked with a mission to find the Metroid planet and get samples of them and destroy all of the ones she can. And so as you're going throughout this whole game, you're encountering different evolutions of the Metroid creature. And it's pretty fun. I thought I was like kind of almost done with the game, and I'm like, no, wait, this is only 25%, and I think I'm roughly halfway, and I have a good majority of her power ups. So I'm just like, I thought I was almost done. This is weird. Like I have almost everything, but it's really fun. The new feature they have in this game is when you have your little power ups and stuff, when you get your energy and all that, it comes to you. Like we just have to walk near it. You don't have to walk into it. And another new thing is she has like a counter move. So sometimes bad guys and bosses will have a timed animation, and they'll set off like a little thing, and they'll blink and they'll jump at you, and then you can like smack them away and then shoot them for like maximum efficiency kind of hit. And some other interesting cool things. The only one thing I don't like about this game, the backgrounds look really cool, but it just looks like you're walking around in the same areas, and the colors of it is different. It doesn't really feel like different actual areas. And
like a Flintstone looping scene when they're running.
Oh yeah.
And it's just that they're changing. They're just putting a different filter.
Yeah.
And I see that.
Like the music's good.
That was one of my favorite games growing up.
Super Metroid. Was it Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo?
Which one was the one on Game Boy?
That's Metroid 2.
Yeah.
Which one? The one on regular, like big chunky Game Boy, or Game Boy Advance?
No, Game Boy Advance.
Oh, so then that's Metroid Fusion or Metroid Zero Mission?
Ooh.
This man knows his
I don't
Metroid.
remember.
He really does.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he knows
I just remember.
Go on.
I just remember I couldn't put it down. It's like you unlock levels. You got to be smart. You got to figure out where
Is there something chasing you in that game?
No.
No? Okay, so that might be Zero Mission then.
Game crack.
Yeah, it might be Zero Mission.
Yeah.
I like how accurate you can be. Is there something chasing you?
Yeah.
Was the sky purple in the third scene of your fourth fight?
Because in Metroid Fusion,
Ladies and gentlemen, Game Genie impersonator.
Seriously.
Because in Fusion, basically, she gets infected with a virus, and the only thing that could save her is like the Metroid thing, the Metroid gene kind of thing.
Oh, the gene.
And then what happens is the virus kind of replicates and becomes her with all of her powered up stuff. So she's like, it's like a zombied version of Samus with all of her stuff, and it's just constantly chasing you. So you're like, as soon as it appears, you're like, oh my god, I gotta get out of here, and you're trying to hide and not die. And then you finally get powerful enough to come back and fight it.
I literally have never played Metroid.
Oh, it's just really fun.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
if you can.
But
But
it's fun.
I mean, people have always told me it's an amazing game.
Yeah.
I know one thing people always
I
said.
pick whenever I play Super Smash.
Yes.
People always told me. I mean, the one thing I know about it is that when people found out it was a girl, they were just like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
and then that's it.
Well, because their big inspiration was Aliens, obviously.
Yes, I heard.
So so you're basically Ripley, and even one of the
Did
bosses is
she
named
get-
Ripley.
Did she get revealed as a girl in Zero Mission?
She gets revealed like if you speed run the first game for Nintendo, and then depending on how fast you beat that game, she'll take off her she'll say bye to you, and she'll have her full armor on. Afterwards, she'll take off her helmet, and you'll see her hair, and she'll say bye to you. And then the last, if you beat it really fast, then she'll have none of her armor on and just say bye to you, and she'll be like in a leotard or something. And
weird.
so that happens with the other games. The faster you beat them, the more like she's like, hey, bye, and I don't have my helmet on.
But then I remember on the cover of the one I played, she was like they tell you she's a girl. So I think after a while they just made it a.
Yeah, I think that's probably Zero Mission then. Yeah, they at that point.
I played,
Yeah, they pretty much tell you at this point, like, yeah, it's clearly a girl, and everyone's like, yeah, she's badass. Yeah, go with it.
Ripley.
Dope.
Okay, guys, that is View the Right Thing. We've gone through.
I got a couple shows.
Oh yeah, sorry, man. Go ahead.
Again, actually, have y'all seen The Good Place?
Yeah. I'm all caught up.
So yeah, I just binged through that, and it's really kind of charming.
Yeah,
it's fun actually. Like it's just it works your imagination a lot. Like I really like the whole idea of the afterlife and stuff. Just to give people a bit of knowledge on it. It's Kristen Bell and Ted Danson.
Yeah.
And it's Kristen Bell wakes up and she's in the afterlife, and Ted Danson is the angel Michael, and he tells her, "Look, you're
he's
dead."
not the angel.
Well,
Michael.
whatever. His name is Michael. His name is Michael, and he leads them to believe that he's the angel Michael, or we're led to.
He's an architect for that. Yeah.
He's the architect for, like, when he explains to her, "You died. You're in the good place because there's a bad place, and each person that goes to the good place gets in a neighborhood that's perfectly blah blah with 321 people or something
like that,
322 people, and everyone gets a soulmate, and everyone blah blah, and it's all happy, and so that's the premise, and it's her going through the afterlife, but she doesn't belong there. Is what she thinks, because she's mistaken.
Elaine Hellstrom or something.
Yeah, Shellstrom.
Yeah, Shellstrom. Yeah. She thinks she's someone. Like, she thinks. Like, well, she knows they think she's someone else. Yeah. And
they think she's like a humanitarian lawyer.
Yeah.
But she was really this terrible person.
Yeah, horrible person. I mean, I like the show. I think season 1, the reveal the way they revealed it was really good.
Yeah.
Season
really
2 has been like, the bouncing back and forth has been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty intense with season 2.
It is, though. It is, because it's starting to mindfuck you a little bit. Like, you're
every
like,
episode you're just like, wait, who's on whose side? And
yeah, like, and now with the judge and stuff like that, like it's getting interesting. So
yeah, I would say I would recommend people check it out.
And the other show I've been checking out, I watched the whole thing actually. It's called Taboo.
Okay.
It's with Tom Hardy.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's like 100 years before Peaky Blinders in England, kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's.
But he's not
like,
playing. No, he doesn't.
No, it's not. It's not Peaky Blinders. It's just like that's because
I know he's in Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. And he's kind of like he's the son of some shipping magnate that like used to own ships and stuff like that. They thought he was dead, but he comes back as the heir of
Africa or something.
Yeah,
the whole
exactly.
Time?
He's in Africa, and he's comes back as the heir to this shipping magnate who's not in favor with the West India Corporation or whatever.
Yeah.
And like kind of battles them, and all kind of weird stuff happens because seeing as he was in Africa and he had all these voodoo stuff or whatever they did, like
he's connected with the savages.
Yeah, exactly.
I am sure that's what they say.
And he's Métis, right? So his mom's like half native or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And
Tom Hardy's playing a Métis.
Yeah, and his dad owns some part of Vancouver that's super important to the Canadian-American border dispute that's happening at that time. Like, they're mapping out, the border between Canada and the States or whatever. And it's really crazy.
So the show's set. Where's the show set though?
It's set in England.
Oh, okay. But it's just that at some point that
because it's all about this plot of land that he owns that's super controversial because it's like right on the border, and whoever owns it really controls access to Asia and like blah blah blah.
And he owns it, and the Americans and the Canadians are fighting over it.
And he wants to have a tea monopoly and just like own. He just wants to be a really rich dude or whatever. So it's like, but they want that too.
Interesting.
So it's all about how he's going to get out of that.
Is it like a 3-way battle over it? Like,
yeah, kind of, because like they want it, he wants it, and then like he has to figure out like how he's gonna get out of England without getting killed by the by the king or whatever. Yeah. So he's using the king against the East India Corporation, and he's using the East India Corporation against the king, and so on and so forth. but he gets himself into some pretty precarious situations too.
Okay.
While he's at it. But yeah, good show.
So Good Place and Taboo.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are all the View the Right Things. Those are all the shows, guys. Check them out. Geektastic Cypher. We're going into our last segment right now. So Geek News and Rumors. Toby, hit us.
First on the docket. Actually, let's start with the Deadpool news real quick here. Did you guys watch the trailer?
I watched the trailer. I didn't get
watch
the Thanos references.
So there were a couple of references, and I knew they were going to make some sort of reference to the fact that he plays two characters in two separate Marvel universes.
Did you really feel that? Okay, I'll let you mention what the references are, and then I'll ask you the question.
Yeah, so there's a scene. Let me just actually bring it up here. Yeah, so Wade, obviously Deadpool, goes up to Cable, and he's like, I've got the stones to help you.
See, so that one I get, and I think that's a reference. I believe that one.
Right.
And then
the other one was, let's see here. Oh, yeah, it's in reference to the post-credits of Age of Ultron, where Thanos realized that, like, no one could do the job, so he's like, I'll do it myself. That's what he says at the end of...
See, that one I don't feel is a reference, because everyone says, I'll do it myself.
But
like,
they could. I could see them purposely doing that.
I mean, if you're going to make a reference to Thanos, you're going to say something more iconic for Thanos than...
But what has he done so far?
What exactly. He's only appeared in like a handful of scenes.
Yeah, but guys,
he hasn't done much.
Everyone says I could do it myself. It's not a Thanos line.
But I mean,
it's something said literally by people on a daily basis.
But one thing I could see them purposely saying that, and like Disney would be like, "Oh, you can't say that about our stones." It's like, "Well, stones, whatever, you know." And then, well, what about this line? It's like, well. Everybody says that. Like, it could be them kind of like, not touching you, Disney. Not touching you. Not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Here's why I say that, because in the Avengers movies, Thanos literally is thinking, no one else can do this. I'll do it myself. And then in the scene in the trailer where like they're showing Deadpool, Cable, and Deadpool is like,
well, he's talking about the CGI and how the CGI is not done.
CGI in his arm, and he's like, well, since no one else can do it, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Literally the same sort of. Maybe it's reaching. Maybe it's reaching.
Because I read the article,
reaching, but I choose to believe.
I wish I could tiebreak, but I haven't seen the.
Yeah, because I read the article and I was just like, okay, I told the Stones one, totally get that. It fits the Deadpool sense of humor with the reference to the Infinity Stones. Like that one makes perfect sense. But when I read the other one about like, oh, I'll do it myself, it really was like they hadn't done the CGI. He's watching it. And he goes, oh, I'll do it myself. And I was just like, okay. I don't see how that's...
It's why it's a double entendre. It's two jokes for the price of one.
Maybe.
The Terry Crews note, though, is that really Terry Crews?
Sorry, one second.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it is. But the trailer itself doesn't really like give much away, so you don't really know much about the story or anything. You just see a lot of shoot 'em up. You see the characters, they show them once or twice, quick flashes, but nothing but shoot 'em up, bang, bang.
Yeah, same
it's
as
gonna be great.
But yes. Yeah, so there's a scene where they show Domino and some people in her crew, and Terry Crews is one of them.
Yay!
Okay, I didn't know, because it looks like Terry Crews, but it's so fast that even when I try to pause it in 4K, I still couldn't tell that was Terry Crews. Like, I paused it in 4K, and I'm like...
of it paused.
One thing I did...
Yeah, so I don't know what his role is, but he's probably expendable. Oh, no pun intended.
Sorry, Jaws, what were you saying?
Well, I was going to say one thing I liked is when Deadpool is playing with the toys, and then in the background on the left-hand side, you see a chunky kind of kid with the orange hoodie, and that's supposed to be one of the characters in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Like that's a reference to like I think that actor was in Beyond the Wilder People, so Taika Waititi's second movie that he did.
Oh, okay.
In New Zealand. And that character, I think he's supposed to be like has some kind of pyrokinesis or something like that.
Is he the one giving the middle finger?
Yes, that's who it's supposed to be. Like literally supposed to be that kid, this fat chunky kid, and he's just like this like egg-looking toy. Cool.
All right, and Doc, you want to pop up the poster for Venom on the screen for them real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Is this actually real?
The poster.
Yeah, I never believe these things are real.
The poster. That is real though.
Oh, okay.
So the poster for the Venom movie was released today. comes out tomorrow, so we don't really know what the story is about yet.
I did not know this was trailer season, though.
Yeah, it is.
I think the poster sucks.
So hardy.
What is it?
I wish they kind of did the Venom name like looking more like his teeth, because then that would make more sense.
Or like the actual face, because all this is, and for those listening, we'll post this on the website on our page. But all it is literally just a black page with what looks like cum stains sliced like on both sides. It's literally supposed to be Venom's eyes.
You're so mad.
It's supposed to be Venom's eyes, but it literally looks like
now I'm thinking about Will Smith again.
Because
call back.
Because like Spider-Man's eyes don't have that, and I get it. It's because it's a symbiote. It's the symbiote, so they're not like perfectly round. Right. But this looks like crap.
No.
Also, if you're gonna do a symbiote properly, instead of making it perfectly symmetrical mirror image for the eyes, they should be a little bit different on each side. That would make it a little bit better. But because symmetry equals beauty, they made it perfectly symmetrical, which makes it boring. Yeah. Also, the font they use for Venom is ugly, and the chrome is stupid.
Yeah, I don't
It's a
understand
waste
the
of our
chrome.
time.
I don't know.
It's a waste of all our times.
Brian's like hating it from jump.
I'm
not even seeing the movie now.
If this movie turns out good, I'll be shocked because I'm going in there hating.
And fuck Tom Hardy too.
Yeah. I think it's a bad idea.
It's a terrible idea. So moving on. We got news not too long ago. Johnson was getting his own Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
And now they've handed the keys to another Star Wars trilogy to the creators of Game of Thrones.
I just don't understand. So
make all the Star
Wars.
Hands everything is
Ryan
Star Wars.
Johnson's hands.
But so apparently it's a separate. It's not the same trilogy that they're giving to Ryan. Ryan still has his. So the Game of Thrones showrunners, David Benioff and DB Weiss, are gonna write and produce their own separate series, and we don't know what that one's gonna be about now. And they're really.
So that means we are guaranteed now at this point at least 7 more Star Wars movies, right? Because we maybe let's put 8. Yep. You have Solo. You have 9 for the Skywalker saga. You're then going to have the Ryan Johnson trilogy, and because they call this a series, I'm going to assume 3 because a series isn't 1.
With Solo, you mean?
No, but this the David Benioff.
It's another trilogy.
I believe, because they haven't said trilogy; they just said series of films. But I'm gonna assume we're looking at a trilogy.
Or could it just can't call them trilogies anymore because they don't write them like before making them.
Yeah,
they'll just write one, make it, write another one, make it. So you don't even know what's gonna happen in the next one.
Maybe it's just like
there's no story arc that binds the 3 movies. So therefore, it's the Fast and the Furious, really.
Yeah.
Maybe it's another set of solo movies, like standoff, like
singles,
single one-off movies.
No one asked for a solo movie.
I know, right?
100. The only thing saving the Solo movie is the fact that there's secretly a Lando movie in there, and that's all that people want to see. Because Childish Gambino looks dope AF as Lando. Right? And we all know
he raps.
So that's a good segue to the next topic here. Did you guys watch the Solo trailer?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked it.
What about you, Kalil? What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I have 0 expectations, and also I have been completely dashed by The Last Jedi. So like I don't even know how much I'm a Star Wars fan anymore. So I'm open to anything. I'm like the Star Wars people that are new fans now that they're like, I don't see anything wrong with the movie. And it's like, yeah, of course, I'm with them now. So so they can't ruin me twice.
The only thing I can add to that now is I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
I realized though after Rogue One came out, I know a lot of people loved Rogue One. I get why it's a good story. It just didn't do anything for me. It didn't convey. It just didn't hit me. It's almost like maybe knowing that they were going to die to begin with just ruined my whole experience. I didn't care. And the only thing I liked that sort of saved it for me was seeing Darth Vader at the end. The rest of it, I didn't care. So that leads me to say my own opinion and bias is the fact that I think I only like related stories.
Jedi-related stories?
Yeah. When it comes to Star Wars, yes. Because I don't care for Han Solo or a Rogue One or any of the TIE fighters or none of that. That's just a regular movie at the end of the day. The only thing I like about Star Wars is the whole Jedi mythology. Okay. If you take that out of the story, you lost me.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I like Rogue One, but I agree with what Tobi said.
I mean, I'm of the mind that I actually want less Jedi stuff because we've gotten, at this point, we're going to be at 9 Jedi-based movies. So I'm ready for you to expand the universe a little bit.
I've seen the Younglings. I'm Jedi'd out. The Younglings. The Younglings.
Oh yeah.
The Younglings are the young Jedi from the prequels. I'm kind of like,
So,
all right. Like,
so
if
saying
you keep
that,
telling,
I know Doc.
go on.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, you know, we've had years and years of Jedi stories, and you keep telling us this universe is nice and rich, and everyone that writes for it is awesome. So why not explore everything else? There's a bunch of other stuff you could be telling.
That's the thing. For me, 9 movies where you've covered the beginning, the middle, and
it's
end.
about the Force, though, right? So it's just
no, that's the point. It's not only about the Force. Those 9 movies cover that aspect of it. Make other stories, though. Like
Jabba the Hutt's the big boss of the underworld.
Like, don't make more movies. Elaborate more in the movies you're currently making. Like, just like
but that's what they did. Rogue One is an elaboration on.
Yeah, Rogue One is an elaboration, but like, I'm just saying, like, if you look at the current, if you want the thing they call trilogy, it's like they don't talk about enough stuff. Like, who's Kanja Club? Who are the Praetorian Guard? Who is you know what I mean, Snoke? Who is everyone? Like, why do we care about this?
I'm down with movies that cover that stuff with less of a Jedi lean.
Yeah, well, if they did,
would you be okay with that?
Cool. My favorite Star Wars is Episode 2. Because Obi-Wan's out in the galaxy exploring, you're seeing planets, you're seeing stuff, and it's not really necessarily about the Jedi, although the cool part is all the Jedi show up at the end, and that's what we always all wanted to see. But still, go ahead.
And could I say one thing? I would also like to see a better villain story than the prequels. I'd love to see a villain from the dark side have his own trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm down with a Sith trilogy,
or at least his arc.
I agree.
Yeah. Like the way in Rebels,
a better arc than what's his name?
Than Snoke.
No, not Snoke. The other
Snoke didn't even get an arc.
No, I mean Darth Vader's. Yeah, Anakin's arc is kind of.
Of course.
You know whose arc was really cool was Darth Maul. After with the
exactly
with his stuff in Clone Wars and his stuff in like.
Well, it always comes up because they actually continued his story afterwards and gave it to writers for the animated series who wanted to utilize the character
and he had
better.
So much depth in it, like it was really.
He has
cool.
a brother. He's like not possessed, but he's obsessive about what he wants to do.
And he just can't get over that Obi-Wan chopped him in half. He's like never gonna forgive him for that.
Nor should he. Nor should he. Someone cuts me in half and I can come back. I'm taking that ass out. I agree with you.
You're like, I was gonna use that.
But I mean, for me, for the movies, I don't need a solo movie. If you want to make one, the only thing I'm interested in seeing is Lando, because I think Lando looks dope.
I think the big problem with the Han Solo movie is that we have Guardians of the Galaxy where they're all Han Solo.
Sure,
so we kind of don't need a Han Solo movie, technically.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem. We've made everybody the asshole of space.
You should just mic drop right now, because that is the perfect fucking point.
Well, I mean, everyone's already made that point with Guardians of the Galaxy 1, but then 2, and then like it's just, we already have a bunch of stories about assholes in space.
Guardians really is the story of Han Solo set in the Marvel universe. That's true, man. If other people made that point before you, kudos to you for being the one to introduce me, because now I'm just going to say JawzD told me that. Because I didn't know that.
I got that from somewhere else, but I do know that that's why we're not super excited for a Han Solo movie.
I'm really not.
You know, like if there was no Guardians of the Galaxy, but oh man, Han Solo, oh man, he died. Oh my god, I would have known everything about Han Solo.
Also, do we need a prequel when we already know how he dies? Like, I don't need his beginning and end.
That's my reason for not really caring about Rogue One.
That's the truth.
And if I remember
about what? Sorry,
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Because you
already know.
Yeah, Rogue One you already know, but it's fun because it's like a story within a story. It's like that one thing in episode 1 when they're like, in episode 4 when they're like, many people died for this information, and then it's like the story of that one line they said,
Because if I remember right, I was talking with Protoman about Rogue One, and he was like, he's kind of disappointed that Rogue One exists now, because that means Shadows of the Empire is gone. And that was another story that told you how they got that info, I think. But no, I don't think so, because I think that happened in between Return of the Jet. not Return of the Jedi, before Return of the Jedi and Empire.
My thing is more.
I could be wrong.
People can hold on to the expanded universe as much as you want.
Yeah, but it's dead. It's over.
Disney killed it.
It's over,
I mean, it sucks, but guys,
But they can go back to that pool.
yes, they can.
They're legends.
They can
they're
pick it out.
They're obviously not going to, because like by the way they're making movies, like they're not going anywhere near that. They're trying to make it way more mainstream, and they're trying to make it way more
Trying to get that money.
Yeah, they're just trying to get that everyone vibe, like
That
instead
Disney
of like
money?
yeah, exactly. It's like when Bob Dylan stopped playing folk music and started playing rock and roll, and his fans were like, but everyone else was like, oh, this is, or like Metallica when they came out with like Enter Sandman album, where all Metallica fans are like, oh, this is terrible, this is the worst commercial, but everyone else on planet Earth was like, oh, Metallica's a nice band, eh? And then that's when they expanded to everyone instead of just their fan base. And I think that's what Disney is doing with Star Wars. They're trying to expand to everyone instead of just Star Wars fans or whatever.
Well, I mean, once Disney bought the property, I knew that's what they were doing.
Yeah,
Disney doesn't buy things to just shelve them.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect it to be 8 movies coming out over the next
I just
who
didn't
knows
expect
how many
to,
years.
Yo, man,
to
we're
be
here
spat
to
in the
make
face so much as a fan.
We're here to make money. That's what we do.
I don't know.
If you ain't out there in the streets getting that money, you gotta be earning. That's what you gotta be doing.
Oh man, Disney
go
be
make my
pimping,
money.
Disney be pimping.
And speaking of Disney, going back to their slew of movies here, we got one coming out next week, Black Panther.
Yeah.
And
Raise
so
that
the
fist
critics review right now on Rotten Tomatoes is actually, last I checked, at 100.
Yeah.
Double check.
Whoa.
I mean, I'm not reading
down
anything.
to 99 for critics right now.
Yeah.
I'm not reading anything either. It's just interesting to see what the critics review is. Now, we had a group in the past week, who created their own Facebook page.
It got taken down by Facebook,
Yeah, because they were hating on Black Panther and want to bring the scores down, and we never really had a chance to talk about it. So I wanted to know what you guys like. What are your thoughts on why this is happening?
I usually don't talk about stuff like that because I don't want to give shine to people who are
hateful. And
why would I?
I didn't even know if it was a cultural group or if it was DC fans. Like I was hearing a bunch of various things.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that people didn't actually care about who this was by the fact that everyone just assumed it was different people.
Yeah.
Some people said it was white supremacists. Some people said it was DCEU fans. Some people said it was that Westbury something church. Like, I heard everything and anything about people going after Black Panther, and I was just like, obviously, no one knows what's actually going on, so I'm just gonna...
It sounds like just Disney created it to make hype.
Maybe, because the only thing that's going to come out of this is publicity, and people are going to go see it.
Props. I respect that.
Kalil, that's exactly why I wanted to bring it up.
That's
exactly why I wanted to bring it up.
That's true.
Because it's very possible that was created by,
that's
the same people giving it to
That's
us.
fair. I mean, God, I hate that. I hate that we say
it's
that.
Like that
we're
Lana
like,
Del Rey song recently, where they're like, she's being sued by Radiohead for the Creep song or whatever.
Yeah.
And they totally didn't sue her. It was just to hype up the song. Like,
it didn't even make sense too, because
1,000 people I knew listened to the song because of that.
Creep, that song samples from the guys who wrote for the Hollies,
which they got sued for.
And then
they split the writing with them or whatever. They were just like, okay.
So if they had turned around and actually sued Lana Del Rey,
it would have made like zero
the money
sense.
would have gone to those guys.
Yeah.
Because those guys had like a 50% credit on the song anyways. In
fairness, the song does sound exactly
it does sound exactly the same. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Can't wait to see Black Panther 3 times.
I know. I already bought my tickets for the February 15th screening. There's a screening tomorrow. If you were one of the lucky few who got tickets to the Montreal screening tomorrow, congrats, you sick fuck. But yeah, good for you. Enjoy.
What was that thing? Like, there's always things that keep popping up. What if Black Panther is really bad? Would you still say it's a good movie? And I'm like, yes, all day, every day.
Oh yeah, we already had that conversation.
Don't care.
Yeah.
All I can picture is that meme
that was last episode.
Yeah.
From CB4 of the dude like, I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black, and I'm blackity black, and I'm blacker than black.
I mean, I'm gonna see Black Panther. I'm going to see it on the 15th. My mom asked me to go see it, so I'm taking her for her birthday.
I'm trying to get family, like older family.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let's go see this.
Let's go see Black Panther.
I'm gonna go see it in the townships with my dad. There'll be no one.
Oh, nice. I'm jealous.
I don't know, man. There's been a few. I remember when I went to go see act like a woman, think like a man. Like there was a good mix of people in that crowd.
Yeah.
You don't tell people you went to see that.
What?
I'm teasing.
I had to go support the only white guy in that movie. Not Turtle, Gary Owen. He had no lines in that movie.
Okay, so say this.
Ninja Turtle. We have the Ninja Turtles as new characters in a new Injustice 2 game.
Yeah, I watched the video. It's interesting.
I thought they already announced them
I don't
for
know.
this game. I remember that. And then like they were talking about how they're going to do it, where it's like you play as all four of them at once, technically.
Yes. Yeah, whichever weapon you pick
Yeah.
will make that character the primary one, but you get to interchange, it seems. Because when you do certain special moves, the other ones will swap
yeah,
in and
they
out.
fight as a team, basically.
Yeah. I do
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I love Raphael's line of "I have a special delivery of paint." Like I thought that was a hilarious line.
The Injustice video game is written very well.
Yes,
Like
yes.
the quips between
It
people,
is.
you can just find a whole video on YouTube of just them insulting each other at the beginning of the fight.
Yeah, the comic book
And
is
also like
pretty
the
good.
actual, yeah, and the storyline in the actual game is so well done. And there, if you pick a different character, there's a different storyline, different ending.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
So
aren't they
well done.
closer to like Marvel characters?
no, not necessarily. It's
Like,
just that
they were created to mirror Marvel characters, though, right?
no,
Like,
not Injustice.
no.
Injustice is.
I mean the Ninja Turtles.
oh yes,
they
you're
were
right.
they were spoofing
Daredevil.
Daredevil, yeah.
Daredevil,
The foot's
yeah.
the hand. And
yeah,
so
the
on.
ooze and all that stuff that went into his eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next on the list, sticking with DC here, we have the Shazam movie.
Yeah.
The synopsis for that pretty much came out. Have you guys seen Zachary Levi training for this recently?
No,
No, I have not.
I'm waiting for him to show up in the costume and actually look the role. Until then, I don't care.
He's actually, I've been trying to, because I didn't see him at all. He's this scrawny little dude.
He's
Yeah.
Just didn't
too
make-
scrawny.
Is it actually going to be The Rock as
Just-
Black
just-
Adam? Though,
Yeah,
or-
that's
Yes.
that's confirmed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because
Sorry, The Rock is actually executive producing this one.
Oh, I see.
stepping up in the world.
Making that money.
So,
He can smell.
yeah. So we're gonna meet like the 14-year-old foster kid Billy Batson, who turns into an adult superhero by saying the word Shazam. They don't really say how in this one, but I think an ancient wizard grants him the
Yep.
powers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's still a kid, and pretty much, I think we're just gonna pretty much see a kid in an adult car. That's pretty much what this is sounding like to me. And then he's gonna run, up against the villain as usual. But
The only thing
so far, nothing.
I like that they have Thaddeus Savannah in it. I like that
Yes.
character as a villain because that character really is messed
Dr.
up.
Savannah.
Yeah, he's like an obsessive character. He's actually a mirror to what the original Lex Luthor was like. Because originally Lex Luthor was a
So
scientist,
which
not
makes me go. Okay, they're gonna go with this movie then? You think?
which what? Sorry.
How dark do you think they're gonna go with Shazam in terms of the actual state of the universe right now in the DCEU?
I think they're trying to make it more light and maybe
Yeah.
more in tone with Wonder Woman, maybe.
It depends how much they link it to the others, also.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be more in tone with Wonder Woman, if anything, because like Wonder Woman's the one that everyone liked,
Yeah.
and made them a lot of money and was surprising. And then they're like, oh no, Wonder Woman destroys the rest of our universe because it's not grim dark.
She set the tone so well. Well, and the only problem is with Wonder Woman, Act 1, Act 2, great. Act 3, flop.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
If they had managed to do all three acts solid, then we could say, I could see why they'd want to maul the universe after it. But they have yet to get their
last
pacing
bit.
right. They don't have their pacing right on any of their movies.
No, that's true.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how
with
dark.
Suicide Squad.
just to point out, Chris Hemsworth used to be very scrawnier back in the day, and then he trained to be Thor.
Yo, I know.
So
It's,
anybody can do it.
It's not the bulking for Levi. It's his face. He doesn't look
The head,
like.
yeah.
He doesn't look like what I picture. Like Shazam is supposed to look like, and you said it. The guy who's playing Hawk, Alan.
Oh yeah, Thaddy. Yeah.
Alan Thaddy, the guy who's playing from Blue Mountain.
That's
Blue Mountain
Shazam.
States. Thad
Yeah,
from Blue Mountain
he
State.
looks exactly
I love that
like
guy.
what Shazam's supposed
guy's
to look
great.
like. If they put black hair on that kid, he's fucking Shazam. So I don't get like everyone who knows what Shazam looks like.
Wait, but are you talking about the guy that played Aquaman on
Yes.
on Thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dye his hair black. He looks spitting image to what Shazam's supposed to look like in the comic book.
And he looks
Yes.
like he can go toe to toe with The Rock.
Exactly. He wouldn't have to bulk up
Bulk-wise.
too much. unlike Mr. Skinny Chuck over here,
And that guy has
who's gonna have to bulk for like Toby. You would know how much muscle is he gonna have to put on to match The Rock.
Let's just say by the time they start filming, he won't have enough on.
Exactly.
No one can keep up with The Rock.
Exactly. You guys are making all the points for me. You got to find someone who could kind of look like they'd fight The Rock, because Black Adam is supposed to be the ancient version of what Shazam is.
Right.
So then we're gonna get Zachary after 4 months of eating fish and rice and bulking up. That's
Plus,
not gonna be
suit's
enough.
so much cooler, black and gold.
Exactly.
Like, oh man,
If I say exactly one more time,
Anyway.
anyways.
it just means we agree, man.
On that note,
Yeah.
on that note, we're gonna leave it at some sad news.
Yeah.
John Mahoney, Fraser's dad,
Passed
recently
away.
passed.
Yeah.
That was
At
sad.
77.
R.I.P.
I mean-
that was I used to love that show. Actually,
Exactly.
Frasier.
Yeah,
One of the-
I don't know why I liked it so much.
Because he was an
Same.
idiot. He was an
guess,
idiot, but he was
yeah.
supposed to. He was a genius who was an idiot.
No, I think I wanted Niles to sleep with Daphne every episode.
Yeah.
This is the day, though. Today is the day.
Everyone
Niles
had their
gets
own
laid.
connections.
Maris?
Yeah. But I mean, like, when it came down to it, like, I liked the show because Frasier, who thought he was a ladies' man, is like the worst at hooking up with women.
Well, it's just like most sitcoms where
Yeah.
the guy is somehow banging all these women constantly, new girl every episode kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Frasier wasn't always that, like, he wasn't smooth.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no.
Jerry.
Yeah,
Jerry's
Jerry
always banging some new chick.
Seinfeld could get ladies left, right, and center, whereas
Oh
Frasier
man,
was
that
like,
guy was always on a date.
yeah. Okay, well that's so shout outs and respect to actor John Mahoney. Rest in peace. We appreciate it. Your acting in all those many years.
You made
and,
that show very relatable.
Yes,
It's
yes.
like, oh my god, all these
You did.
smart people. Oh, thank God, the dad.
Yeah,
And his
good
dog.
old blue collar.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
thank God, his dad and his dog. Oh, thank God.
So that's the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Geektastic Cypher.
Yeah.
Kalil, what do you want to tell the people? What's going on?
Yeah. Stay posted for Perfect Strangers. We're gonna be opening the Montreal Festival of Lights, Montréal en Lumière,
Nice.
with backing up Dubmatic.
Oh, dope.
For on the 22nd at the opening of the fest. So
Legends.
so it's their first time with a live band.
Oh, crazy.
And that's who we are.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really
It's
awesome.
gonna be really cool. We
Toby.
did the press conference this morning.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture.
I'm gonna start releasing some just snippets of tracks that I'm barely working on, but I am at the same time on SoundCloud. So go to soundcloud.com/super_abstract, but instead of the T at the end after the C, it's a K. Abstract.
Here you go.
All right.
Nice.
That's everything.
JawzD.
Check me out on Twitter, JawzD. Check out Transformers Slag on YouTube, and also check out GOATT podcast.
Geeking out at the tower. That's the show, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in to Geektastic Cypher here on FranklinArmstrong.com. You can follow us on A Strong Franklin on Twitter and Instagram. You can hit us up on Facebook at Facebook.com/FranklinArmstrong.DOTCOM. You can follow me on Instagram at Brian Holiday, HOLIDAE. That's the whole show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week as we do. Next week's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a Valentine's Day episode, and we're actually going to be pre-recording that one, so it won't be live, but we are going to try and solicit questions from people for our guest, who is an advice she used to write an advice column so for Valentine's. So
Questions right.
yeah,
What's her
so Cece, so we're going to get her on the show. So guys,
All
thank
my
you.
questions will be asking from a friend.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Geektastic Cypher. We're out. Oh, don't drink and drive. Always wear your Jimmy caps because safe sex is good sex. That's the end of the show.
Get out my way.